Maybe we waste time trying to be productive and so efficient and so strategic when we just get to be alive. And that matters more than anything. Is this the most alive version of me? Hey, listener, welcome to episode number 121 of Blissin' Up. Every month on the podcast, I share with you the theme that I have named for that month. If you are familiar with the podcast and you've been listening along, then you probably already know and love this practice. And hopefully you have adopted it in your own life and you are going along the months with us, naming your theme or adopting our theme, depending on where you are energetically each month. But if you are brand new here, if this is your very first time tuning into this podcast, this is part of my Live with Intention framework. You see, my mission in this life is to help you create a life that sparks bliss. And I think the number one obstacle that stops us from finding bliss in our lives is drifting from our dreams, drifting from our habits, drifting from our intentions. And living with intention is a great way of refusing to drift, slowing down the practice, focusing on what matters most, and being intentional enough to listen for the sparks of bliss. Now, I do this practice in my own personal life. So, what I have done with this podcast is that I literally invite you into my world to practice along with this rhythm with me in real time. And for that reason, I am constantly evolving and shifting and sharing with you where I am in the process. That's why I name the theme and then I spend the month nurturing that theme and sharing with you how that is coming along and how that is evolving and what I'm learning and how we can apply personal development tools to nurturing our intentions in our lives. Now, oftentimes, once I choose my theme, it's like a download. I get it and I am all in on that theme. But this month, something interesting happened. And because my goal is to invite you to participate in the journey and for us to learn something from this process together in real time, I want to share with you what happened, how it shifted, and what it meant for me. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of context. I have a group program called The Well, and we also follow this framework in The Well, except that in that group coaching community, we do a deep dive. We really go in and we live this work and do the reflections and name our intentions and really focus on what we're nurturing. I mean, that's where we integrate everything that you learn here in the podcast. That's where we integrate all of the work. So we were having our weekly call right when August began, and we were going through our reflections and choosing what our intentions were going to be for that month. And sometimes we borrow intentions from each other. Sometimes we have the same intention coincidentally. And sometimes we have one that is just ours and we name that and the group holds us accountable for that. This month, one of our group members, Lauren, who announced her theme for August. If you don't know the theme that I chose for August yet, the theme that I chose was Simplify August. And if you want to hear the backstory as to why I chose that theme and what it meant for me and what I was hoping to get out of it, you can tune into the episode at the beginning of this month. I think it was 2 episodes ago, and it was called Finished Not Complete. And I shared the theme for August and how it was simplify. But Lauren decides to share her theme, as all the group members do. And she announces that the theme she chose for August was Alive August. And when she said that, something in me shifted. It felt like a download. It felt like a direct pang to me. That is what we need to focus on, being alive. Now, what it reminded me of immediately was Ryan Holiday has a challenge that he shares in the beginning of the year, and I've done it with him. It's called the Alive Challenge, and he talks about there's a difference between alive time and dead time, and he got that from Robert Greene, who is also an author, and he shares with you in that challenge how so much of our time is spent in dead time and the importance of having a lifetime in our lives. So I was already very familiar with the concept of a lifetime, and I love that concept. But when Lauren shared that her theme was Alive August, it just felt like the right theme for me. Except that I had already chosen Simplify. I had already announced Simplify on the podcast, and I had already started to nurture the Simplify theme. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because this happens to people. Sometimes you choose your word of the year, and then you're in the middle, a few weeks into the year, you think, was that really my word? Another word feels like it's the right word. And then we second guess ourselves and we question, well, what is the right intention? And does it have to be this word? And could it be that word? And then we debate. I actually had a client once who was debating her word of the year for months. Every time that she came to the well, she wanted to revisit her word of the year. And I kept telling her, well, just pick one. There's no right or wrong answer. Just choose one. But it was really hard for her. And here I was having have chosen a theme and feeling called to a different one. And I thought that was an important moment, because here is the lesson. Simplify August and Alive August are not in competition with each other. The themes, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right theme or wrong theme. There is simply following the energy of the intention. So I grabbed that word, that alive word, and I thought to myself, like, what is it about it that is touching my heart? What is it about it that feels so powerful? And I had this thought, maybe the simplest thing in life is to guide yourself by whether you are engaging in a lifetime or dead time. Maybe we waste time trying to be productive and so efficient and so strategic when we just get to be alive. And that matters more than anything. That is the simplest and most important technique of our lives, is to just decide, am I being alive right now? Do I get to be alive right now? Am I grateful for being alive right now? What would the alivest version of me do in this moment? Maybe that's what I needed. Maybe that was the Simplify August, is like, simplify it to, are you being the most alive version of yourself? I didn't change my word of the month, but I did start governing my energy this August by feeling alive and by making decisions, asking myself the question, is this the most alive version of me? And that has supported me greatly. And the truth is that it doesn't matter if that was the theme that I named at the beginning, because this isn't black and white. This isn't rigid. This isn't about strict rules or about not being able to be wrong or not being able to redirect. It's about nurturing your intentions. So, a couple things have happened since I chose that theme. A friend of mine posted on our text thread that we have with a few couple friends of ours this Instagram video of this healer that's online where he hosted a challenge in August called the Happy Cell Song Challenge. And his invitation is that every single day you sing this happy cell song while tapping yourself. And I'm going to sing for you. Here, this is how it goes. Ready? Every single cell inside my body, every single cell is happy and well. Every single cell inside my body, every single cell is happy and well. I'm so glad every single cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every single cell in my body is happy and well. So this Instagram person invited us to sing that happy little song and challenged us to do it every single day in August. And here was a friend of mine who thought it was a cute challenge, thought it would raise his vibration, and invited his friends to do it. And I decided to play along for several reasons. Number one, the song was simple enough for me to remember. And if you know anything about me, which you probably don't know this fun fact, but you're going to know it after this call, is that I have a real problem learning lyrics to songs. This little song was so simple that I've been getting it right. I I know the song and I repeat it and I learned it, and I don't think I'm messing it up, even though I'd have to go back and check his Instagram video because maybe I've messed it up somehow, but it still works in my brain. And it, the essence of the song is correct. Okay. You can't 100% quote me on it, but the essence of it is correct. So I have been singing that song every day. It is simple and it makes me feel alive because it's joyful, it's silly. I've been doing it with my clients. I've been doing it on my well call. I've been doing it with my husband and my kids. I've been having so much fun with it. I've just, it's made me feel alive. And I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. And once again, it confirmed for me that August isn't just about simplicity, but it's about simplicity and aliveness and how they can go hand in hand. Now, there are still a million things in this month that I need to simplify and work through. I am about to, actually, tomorrow, we are starting to replace the floors in my house. So that has involved a lot of logistics. My kids went back to school this month. We had Warrior Week. We had School Year's Eve, which I talked about last week. We've had all sorts of logistical things that I've had to work through. And the month has been very overwhelming and very busy. And I've kept telling myself, just keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. And also energetically be the most alive version of yourself. That's been the entire month. So if you have named an intention, and then you second guess that intention, or a different theme comes up in your mind, or a different word comes into your life, rather than spending your energy and your time debating to figure out which one is the right one, why don't you embrace them both? Why don't you use it as an arrow? That because you have become the kind of person to speak into existence your intentions, God whispers intentions into your soul. Because you have the courage to nurture your intentions, alignment follows you and invites you to nurture more intentions. We do not have to get this life perfect. This is about progress, about enjoying the journey, about paying attention, and finding the magic and the synchronicities along the way. If you do that, I know you, my friend, are creating a life that sparks bliss. I'm absolutely sure of it. Because you start to live with magic, with curiosity, with wonder, with romance, and with deep, deep, deep alignment. So that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully, this episode has given you permission to not have to play by a certain rule. It's given you permission to embrace the changes and the shifts that life presents to you along the way, and giving you permission to be playful with your intentions. There are no right or wrong answers, just arrows guiding you along and inviting you to pay attention. Okay, my friend, if you enjoyed this episode and you know someone who is oftentimes stuck in indecision or gets torn between competing interests or experiences a little FOMO if they chose one path and then they didn't choose the other path, there's lessons for them in this episode. I encourage you to share this episode with them and invite them to look at their life as a collection of invitations instead of a black or white invitation. That will help them tremendously. So share this episode with them. Think about what you are nurturing this August. And if I have one question for you this month is, are you simply choosing to be alive today? Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world to me. Now, if this show helps you live with a little more intention and you love it, the best way to support it is by following wherever you listen and leaving a rating or a review. That is how new listeners can find us, and it helps more than you can imagine. So until next time, keep noticing the sparks of bliss in your life. Bye for now.